What's up, homies? It's Jake Marchand coming in from the Sun Belt, where it isn't always sunny on days like today. Real quick video. I had somebody asking me, and they were saying, Jake, you've got 5 houses, 6 houses. That's got to be a lot of paperwork. Who does all your bookkeeping? Well, there's an interesting little fact, and I'll throw my opinion in here at the end, but I actually have a 4-year degree in accounting from the School of Business at a university in my hometown, and I worked for about 2 years in accounting firms doing taxes, audit, and bookkeeping. So I really do have a lot of experience in this. I've done hundreds of companies and hundreds of tax returns, and I absolutely hate accounting, so I'm not trying to brag here. I'm just letting you know I have a lot of experience in this. So for my business, I actually do all of my own accounting. So I use QuickBooks, and what I do is I print off my monthly bank statement for my LLC, and then I also get my owner statements for my property, and I just input it in once a month. You know, like I'll go to each house, the rent, minus the expense for the property manager, minus the rent for the washing machine guy that they called out there. And I'll input all those expenses, like for my houses, and then I'll go to my bank statement, which may have, you know, I pay my mortgages through there. So I'll go ahead and put my mortgage, and I'm a little bit advanced in this. I'll break them down by principal and interest for the month for each property, and then also on my bank statement, I usually have like a few items, some Lowe's, like I don't know, had to go fix something, or some handrail I had to fix, or some dirt I had to buy, or a rental truck I had to get. So then, like I said, I'll go through my bank statement. It's usually general, not like specific to each property, and I'll go through and then just take all the expenses off of there and input it, and then yeah, once a month, once I have all my income and expenses done, I just close it. Takes me a couple hours because I'm really slow and really detail oriented. Probably could do it in 20 minutes. But that's how I do my bookkeeping. I do all of it except for at the end of the year, I have a CPA do my tax return. At one point in my life, when I was getting my master's, I was actually going back to get hours for my CPA. So I wanted to be a CPA at one time. But now, after working in accounting firms for a couple years and doing business, I don't want anything to do with that world. So what I do is I send all my tax returns. I get them to do my tax return. It costs me about $700 for one tax return a year, and then I send K1s out to the partners. But I just like to have a really qualified expert doing my stuff that has to deal with Uncle Sam. So that, that's the only reason I use a CPA rather than doing the taxes myself, just for, you know, just to limit my risk. Because like I said, Uncle Sam is very unforgiving, and I don't want to get on his bad side without saying I went through a professional. So that's what I do all my own bookkeeping. I use QuickBooks desktop. QuickBooks is the most, it's the primary accounting bookkeeping software in the accounting field by far, and for businesses. So I use QuickBooks. I use the desktop version. I don't use a fancy little cloud mobile version because like I need the full programming, and I don't really need to do it on my mobile phone. And I want to give just a quick opinion at the end of this. If I had to recommend, like, should you do your own books or should you not, because almost every business owner ends up doing their own books, I would recommend absolutely not. I'm an accountant, and I find a lot of it hard. And you have to send it to a CPA at the end of the year, and I still make mistakes. And if you were somebody who just didn't enjoy this or didn't have any experience in this, it's very hard and very detailed. Not only that, like, it takes a lot of time. I mean, it can take 1 hour a month, or it can take 12 to 15 hours a month, just depending on how everything goes. And then you have to worry about all your, like, taxes and your privilege taxes for your business and how to set it. I would not recommend doing it. Just, like, let a professional take care of it if you can afford it. The reason I do it is because when I first started this company, I was like, I do not want to mess with this. I'm going to outsource this. And then an accountant told me it was like $400 a month for my bookkeeping. I was like, man, that's like 3 journal entries a month, and I can't afford that right now. You know, so that's why I do it. I wouldn't recommend it. It's pretty difficult, but if you want to, give it a shot. If you have any questions about it, let me know, and I'd love to answer them in the comments. And I appreciate you guys watching my video. Like I said, subscribe. I'm going to keep on sending more stuff, and like this if it was interesting, and I really appreciate you watching. I'll see you guys shortly.